Howdy, folks, and welcome to another day in the Milky Way. And here we go with another short one for you tonight. But we're going to do a little fun stuff. We're going to do a little relief from, you know, Angel Work and Atlantis and all these other shows that we've been doing. We're going to take a little break from that. We're going to go to Missing and Disappeared from David Paulides. You can find him on YouTube. His books. David Paulides Missing 411. If you haven't checked him out, he's got Can-Am Missing, Can C-A-M, Can-Am. It's Canadian American Missing 411. Just look it up. It's on YouTube. He's got a great show. Comes out with missing people a couple times a week. Tells a great story. He does the research. It's all in there. He does nothing but the facts, man. Nothing but the facts. So tonight we're going to look at his work and we're going to read a couple stories. I suggest that you go out and buy his book, read it too. Then go to his website. Do not buy it anywhere else. Buy it on his website. It's the cheapest place to buy it. Get a brand new book, ships really fast. I was really happy with my purchase. And as you can see, it's a big, thick book. Lots of reading there. Lots of stories. It gives all the things there. Keep you interested. It's very short and stories about each person and as they go. And I got a few of them marked out here that we're going to talk about tonight. There's a couple few stories here, and each one is very interesting. And I'm sure we haven't talked about these before. And he gives good scenarios. I like the way he does things, and tells you where they're from, where they're going, what's going on, why. But there's no information to solve these mysteries. So what we're going to do tonight, we're going to look at some of these mysteries. We're going to try to solve some of them and solve them in your mind. And if you got answers, leave in the comments below. Go over to his channel, write David Paulides. He's got an email address there. Write him, tell him your story. Because you never know, you might have been ready to be disappeared too. And you don't. Everybody thinks they got to go into the woods to be disappeared. They got to go hiking. Now, I know we did a few shows of this before. And back in the day, we did a few shows. But still, people still go missing. And there's a lot of people that go missing. Do you know somebody who went missing? So we're gonna read out of this book. Here we go with this. As you can see, here's his picture. This is Trevor. Trevor Bohm. Yeah. Missing on 11/5/2008. So November 5th, 2008. He was from Evanston, Illinois. Age at disappearance, he was 20 years old. As a parent who has dropped 2 kids off at college at different points in my life, there's nothing more challenging and nerve-wracking than leaving your child in an environment that you really don't know well. There is no doubt that many parents have gone through the vetting process of colleges, maybe made a few visits and arrived home to allow their young adult time to come to a needed decision. Once they are off to school, they are really on their own and outside of your control. And of course, that is true. I don't have any kids in college, but I am sure that some of you people out there do. And so there you go. And that's the thing. Okay, now we even got a picture. Look at that. Okay. Here we go. Trevor was a Colorado kid. He grew up in Montrose and attended the Colorado School in Colorado Springs. He concentrated in the arts and focused primarily on theater. Trevor enrolled at Northwestern University in Evanston, Illinois. And in the fall of 2007, he was living on the 5th floor in the Willard Residential Dormitory. He at one point dropped out of school, left campus, and then re-enrolled the following fall as a communications major, living in a 4th floor room in the South Mid-Quads Hall on campus. The general consensus around the campus and back at his high school was that Trevor was very, very nice person. who came from a tightly knit family. On November 8th, 2008, Trevor's parents traveled from Colorado and arrived in Evanston for Parents' Day. They called their son, got no answer. They went to his room and couldn't locate him. They searched for his green Schwinn bicycle with oversized tires and couldn't locate it. The parents got nervous and suspicious and reported Trevor as a missing person. Friends on campus stated that this was totally outside the bounds of his behavior and that they were puzzled about him being missing. The university pulled the records on Trevor's pass card and found that it had not been used since November 5th. He had been unaccounted for almost 3 days. Nothing of great importance happened in the search until approximately 11:30 a.m. on November 13th. Students walking along the Lake Michigan in an area known as a landfill, very near campus, Trevor's suede coat was found. University identification card, keys, and cell phone were on the rocks near the water. United States Coast Guard immediately deployed a boat and a helicopter to search for the coastal waters. The search was producing nothing. I'll again remind readers that this is in cases I've written about in the past. The victims are found without their cell phone or electronics. It seems odd that Trevor's university identification stayed in the coat pocket and near where the rest of the items were found. On November 16, 2008, someone thought they saw a body in the water 7 miles north of Northwestern near Montrose Harbor. It was Trevor. There were very few details released about the condition of the body and specifics of toxicology. The coroner did state that Trevor died from drowning and the manner of death was still under investigation. I never found another article confirming that any other specifics of his death. Where was Trevor Boehm when he disappeared? Did he ride his bicycle near the rocks and fall into the lake? Doubtful. There are paths in this area that are quite a distance to the water and separated by rocks. In this case, another brilliant student who disappears under suspicious circumstances and is found in Lake Michigan with no witnesses to the event. Some important points that are not answered. How long was the body in the water? What was he wearing when it was found? Did he have any injuries? He had been drinking alcohol or using medications? What was the activity just before it disappeared? Where is his bicycle? So he just disappeared without a trace. And he lost his bicycle, but he left his wallet and keys behind just in case they wanted to get in his room, you know. So, poor kid. Feel bad. I feel bad. Let's see, who do we got here? Who's next? We got this guy, Jay Paulides. And his age, he was disappeared at 20 years old. He was missing on December 28th, 2010 from Chicago, Illinois. So it doesn't matter. Everybody thinks they can disappear in the middle of the forest. Well, Chicago is definitely not a forest. It is definitely not a forest. So if you think that these people are disappearing just in the woods, you got another thing coming, people, because they're not disappearing just in the woods. It's everywhere. And it doesn't have to be, down the street or something. It could be in the city, could be in the country, could be, here, look at this. This is a mountain picture. Now, this is where you'd think you would go disappearing at, wouldn't you? But look at it, big rocks, trees, a lot of water. But no, they disappear in the city with lots of water, trees, things like that. It's just another jungle, man. It's just another jungle. Okay, so here we got Jay Paulides. He was missing in December. His age of disappearance was 20 years old. The following headline appeared in the August 22nd, 2011 Chicago Tribune, and I believe this is what he's saying. I believe it explains the case judicially. Jay Paulides' death is a mystery spanning 20 miles and 18 months. How Jay Paulides' body turned up far from his downtown Columbia dorm baffles police as much as he died. So he was another college student. Jay was grounded, funny, super smart college junior, majoring in photography at Columbia College in downtown Chicago. You notice, I've been reading these things, and they never say, oh yeah, this guy, he wasn't the smartest, brightest bulb in the bunch. He was kind of dippy, and he couldn't find his foot to put in his ass, but he made it to go around, you know? No, it's always these bright, smart, intelligent people that go missing. Why is that? Okay, he was majoring in photography at Columbia College in downtown Chicago. He was born and raised 125 miles northwest of Chicago in a small town of Lena. Ole and Lena. He was an athlete and competed in wrestling and track teams. He worked his way through school by bagging groceries at Sullivan Foods. Jay wanted to feel the life of the big city and was tiring of the sleepy little town of Lena. He applied and was accepted to Columbia to study film. He later changed his major to photography. His friends stated that he always had his camera around his neck and his computer in his bag. And if you want, I am going to stop sharing. And I will show you his picture. There is Jay. There he is. Mr. Outdoors Man from the country. Okay. And we'll start sharing again. Because you'd rather probably see my big fat picture than my face, right? Oh, anyway. Or this bird. Or maybe this brain. Or this tree. Well, let's do some thinking with that. Okay. The last confirmed sighting of Jay was on February 28th, 2010. He was walking out of his dormitory at 525 State Street with his camera around his neck and his bag over his shoulder. Sounds like something right out of a movie. Tatiana Sonoka, also a Columbia student, was Jay's girlfriend for the last year of his life. She confirmed that he'd exchanged texts late Sunday afternoon and agreed to meet her later that night back at his dormitory. She went to his dorm that night, and he didn't show up there. There was supposedly one last communication from Jay, as he explained in the article of the Chicago Tribune. At 10 a.m. the next day, Poyhill responded to the text sent by his mother on Sunday. Sorry, busy night. Way behind, he wrote. Be in touch later. Love you. About 24 hours later, Poyhill's body was found. I'm only guessing here, but most of the sources indicate that Jay went missing on February 28th. Sunday. It would appear that police are not putting much belief into the text that came through the following day to his mom. They may have evidence that this was sent on Sunday and delivered on Monday. This part of the story is a bit unclear. Friends stated that Jay went to a party Sunday night and supposedly notified his girlfriend of the intention later that same evening. The statements and timing of the text and supposed communications was vague and confusing. 20 miles south of Columbia campus and a little Camelot River, a small harbor area with old bridges that cross the area. On March 2nd, 2010, the body of Jay Poyhill was pulled from the river by Stony Island. Not far from the Ford Motor Plant, Jay's laptop, camera, and wallet were missing. More confusing was that he was wearing only a t-shirt, no pants, no shoes. Police were immediately baffled as to how the student got to the south side of Chicago without a car and without telling his friends he was headed to that area. So he went missing. Wow, in February, and he was found later on in March. Okay, the Cook County coroner stated that there were no drugs or alcohol found during toxicology testing. They did confirm that Jay had suffered from extensive skull fractures on both sides of his head and that he had a broken bone in his neck. There were marks on the body consistent with a boat propeller striking him. The cause of death was undetermined. 3 months after Jay was found, his family paid $15,000 to hire a private investigator and a pathologist to review the Cook County coroner's findings. The family pathologist reviewed the evidence and believed that Jay was the victim of some type of assault, and it was the assault that led to his death. The family's pathologist and investigator lobbied the Cook County coroner to change their findings. Dr. Marta Carlara then carried her findings to homicide, stating that Jay died of drowning, coupled with multiple injuries due to assault. Chicago homicide detectives now had a case. They did work diligently and canvassed pawn shops in the effort to locate Jay's laptop and camera. They didn't find any leads and never developed a suspect that was publicly identified. They also looked for video footage of Jay. They found none. I traveled to so David Paulides, he traveled down to Camelot River, and they located where Jay's body was recovered. The trip was over 20 miles, and it took 35 minutes by car. The region was very heavily industrialist, large bridges, that big Ford motor plant, hazardous waste all over the place. The Camelot River flows through the beautiful open space district many miles south from where Jay's body was found. The region there where the body was recovered is dingy, polluted, and strewn with litter. How Jay ended up in the Camelot River from his dormitory downtown is another incident that makes zero sense. What a nice guy, and end up like that. Okay, and this case matches many of the ones that David Paulides has written of. The victims were found in severe life-threatening injuries, and the coroner rules it accidental or undetermined. This is very similar to cases that he has chronicled from victims around the bottom of cliffs. They have major injuries, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so he encourages people to go to Can-Am Missing Project on YouTube page and watch the video we produced on Dr. James McGrowan. Dr. James McGrowan was on the okay. This 5 weeks later. Okay. This is another one. Okay, yeah. So anyway, there's Dr. James McGrowan. He was found that he didn't have any boots in the middle of winter. How could you explain that? So go to his YouTube page, check that out. Use your brain. See, there's your brain, and it's got ideas. Go figure. Go try that one out. Breakdown. Okay, ain't that pretty? It's spring, everybody. Enjoy the butterflies. Okay, now I'm getting a little long in the tooth. I'm glad y'all came tonight. So I'm going to stop this share. And stop share. Okay, there we go. And I hope you all enjoyed that. Stories like that will make your brain think. And don't go out without a friend. Remember, tell somebody where you're going before you go there. I don't want you to go missing either, because we're all important people. Somebody out there loves you, and they care about you, and they don't want you just to disappear. And because, strange things do happen. They do. And there's a whole book here that tells you about strange things that happen to people. Good people. It's usually good people. And all of you out there are good people or listen to this show for sure. So give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment below. And hopefully, I'll hear from you. And if you leave me a comment or write me an email with your thoughts, have you ever felt strange, like you were going to be disappeared? Do you know anybody who disappeared? Let me know. Send me an email. Leave it in the comments below. We'd all like to share. Sharing is what's all about. Go check out David Paulides at Can-Am Missing. Order his books. Go to his website. Check out his books. They're great. I have 3 or 4 of them. He's got some really good maps and stuff. Check them out too. So remember, everybody. Remember, spread the love. We're all important. Embrace everybody. And remember to keep track of your family and friends. We don't want them to go missing. So be the frequency you want to receive, everyone. We love you all. So peace, everybody.